first road here at 45 miles an hour. The car is just ticking along at 1400 RPM. Ride quality is what you'd expect from a Vorsprung Technique Audi, exec Audi at that. Not particularly well surfaced, this part of the road, and it's wafting along really well. A couple of little sweepers there, and it's actually more wind noise and a little bit of road noise rather than the engine. In fact, to be truthful, blindfolded, I wouldn't know actually that this was a diesel engine. Very quiet as we make progress here. When you look into the rear view mirror, all I see is a rear windscreen that appears to be 20, 30, 40 foot behind me. Seems a mile away, obviously magnified by the rear view mirror. There's a couple of left-handers here, badly surfaced, and I wasn't sure how the ride would be with these 20-inch alloys on pretty low-profile Michelin Pilot Sport 5s, but I shouldn't have worried because it's absorbing some of the worst of these roads really, really well. You can feel the weight for sure on turning. You just feel, just then the gearbox just got a little bit confused then, a little bit clunky with its gear change. I'll try it in manual later. It's right under there. The gearbox is not as intuitive as I would have expected there, and I'm only at sort of 5 or 6 tenths. The steering, again, it's devoid of real feel, to tell you the truth. And just on that turning, you've got to let the car settle a little bit first, and you can feel there's a lot of weight in it. So I'm just going to go through this left turn here and just squeeze the throttle, just give it sort of 70-80% acceleration. I'm still in comfort setting. There's several settings here: efficiency, comfort, dynamic. So 3/4 acceleration there from 30 to 40, 50, 60, and a little bit. I don't know how quick that was. Rapid acceleration, but almost devoid of any excitement there. It just piled on the speed really quickly from low revs. Didn't really rev very hard either, and I probably need to get it into manual and get it into dynamic to get that actuator opened, and hopefully we'll see and hear some exciting exhaust note from the car. So going along this smooth, fast B road here between 55-60 miles an hour, and it's supremely comfortable, effortless, and it sort of dilutes everything down, dilutes the speed down as well. You could be going 20 miles an hour, you wouldn't know it. There's this left-hander here, mid-speed corner, and it's not dramatic. The only thing I would say is quite a bit of tyre noise, and that's not normal for Pilot Sport 5s. So, but you can certainly feel the weight of the car, and that's also under the braking. This is a big heavy car, and not helped by having that 3-litre V6 right out front. Just doesn't help that initial turning. So what I'm going to do here at this junction is I'm going to change it to dynamic. It doesn't seem to go the way I expect it to go, which is quite odd. Stop start, I think. Yeah, which really is quite an annoying feature. So I've put it into, in fact it's defaulted back, dynamic. So as I pull away here, there's a couple of sweeping corners. So just ticking along, and then just open the accelerator up there. Oh, wow. Wow, where does that come from? That doesn't sound like a diesel at all. That sounds like a petrol V6. What has happened there? Wow, that is some magic has just occurred. How un-diesel-like that is. So that is the clever, whatever they've done with the exhaust, 100% it works, because from a little bit, dare I say, boring or doing what it needs to do in the comfort mode, get it into dynamic, this exhaust, that sounded like a V6 petrol. We'll go through this next junction here, and I'll try it again, and wasn't expecting that at all. So we'll take this left here now. So we'll take it steady through here. 20 miles an hour is in dynamic, is just under 2,000 revs. And accelerate. Just takes a second or two, and then wow, right up to the red line at 5.2, and then yeah, we're at the speed limit. Also, the pull there, the acceleration, that was pulling hard all the way through to the 5.2 red line. There was just no peak. There was no, like, a lot of engine, a lot of diesels. It's all like mid-range, and then in the last 500 RPM it sort of dies down. Not at all. That was really growly, pulling strong all the way through the rev range. There was a little bit of a delay, just while the gearbox has to kick down, has to get the right gear. But once going, it's a monster engine. I mean, it does defy the weight for sure. So this is one of my favourite roads we're coming onto here. So just going to make sure that we switch it into dynamic mode, and then I'm going to go into manual as well. So you just literally flick either of the paddles, which are nicely positioned. Just knock it down a couple of gears. Just let that car get a little bit ahead. So put it into second gear now. Doesn't really clearly tell you. I could do with the manual gear being a little bit bigger, rather than the digital speedo. I could do with telling you what gear you're in. But so second gear, and let's just see what it takes this road like. Better pickup in manual for sure. Just knock it down a few gears there. Knock it down to second through this tight left-hander. Does flush out a bit there with the weight in third, whole third. And we've met another car. Just knock it back and it puts it into drive. Look, this car its element is not pushing it hard down a B road. I know that. I'm testing it really beyond. This is a motorway cruiser, a road blaster, daily commutable car that can carry you, the family, the kids, the dog, the shopping, and do the grind and do it really, really quickly. And for doing that, it does really, really well. It's supremely comfortable. It rides the road great, and it is really quick. Just put it into manual, so I'm in dynamic, manual, second gear, and take it down this testy B road for a mile. So, because you're in manual then, that's instantaneous. It's devastatingly quick. We can feel the weight through the corners though. hold third gear for that. I would say the ride quality gets even better at speed as well. Gear changes are bolt lightning, heavy. You can feel it, you feel the weight under the brakes. Taking tyres there, just trying to hold on as it puts down some serious amount of torque there. Pushing it through. Well, it's just the might. It's getting down this road quickly due to that mighty engine. You've got to give it to, put it back into automatic, you've got to give it to Audi. This is an unbelievable engine. It's got huge amounts of torque that it's just through the quattro as well. You've got that assurance. You feel the tyres are all trying to scrabble the steering, trying to put the power down. It's instant. Gearbox is doing a much better job in manual than I think that it does in auto, and it's doing well. Clearly, the weight of the car, the steering, I have no idea there's no feedback at all coming back. You turn in, it does feel like it's just going to wash, and you've just got to be a bit patient on turning, get your speed right first. But my word, as soon as it comes on boost with regard to that torque, those two sequential turbos, the small one used for the really low revs and then the bigger one coming in straight after, and it's intoxicating speed for sure. Here we go, just again, this time it's in auto, and it's the surprise is how it pulls through the rev range as well, really strong. You're very quickly at national speed limits, and for me it's the motorways, it's the A roads, the faster B roads. This is where this car really trumps. Great engine, and in manual the gearbox works nicely. I know I compared at the start of the video the BiTDI to the RS6, and that was trying to get across how much torque this diesel V6 has. But of course the real competitor is not the RS6, it's the BMW 530 or 535D, and it's a massively competitive sector. Value wise, to get a good one, you're probably looking at mid-teens for a 10, 11, 12-year-old BiTDI. So they're not, and that's with 70, 80, 90,000 miles on. They're not particularly cheap cars, and that's because they are, I think, really liked by many people. If it's that one car to do everything, it makes a real case for itself. Having the practicality of the Avant, because that's where I think Audi have always had that with the Quattro and with their love of Avants, more so than BMW and Mercedes. So how do I summarise the time I've spent with the BiTDI? Is it the car that I thought it could be? Well, it's a big car. I don't think black on black works for this particular car. The colour with the alloys. Although stand fast that actually my Range Rover L322 is about to get its alloy sprayed black, so we're going to go black on black with the Range Rover, which is not my decision, so don't hit me with that in a few weeks' time when you see that video. It's in a premium brand, these big exec cars with big powerful engines. It is really comfortable to be in. It rides the road really, really well, and it's got a stomping engine in there for sure. And this remap version, it's getting some serious power and serious torque delivered through the Quattro system. Would I want to drive it on a Monday morning into work? Yes. Would I get up early on a Sunday morning to drive it for the sake of it? Absolutely not. I think, who's this for? The people that want some sort of performance as the everyday car, need practicality. It's a big car, a very big car, albeit annoyingly so. That rear window is at such an angle that carnivorous boot is certainly restricted by headroom because of the way it's angled. But you could take 4 large adults in this car in complete comfort and for some distance. The engine will allow you to kill motorways and A roads in effortless comfort, for sure. But does it thrill? Does it excite? Is it fun? No. I think it's very clever the way they've used the actuator on the exhaust when you're in dynamic to really change the diesel platter into something that is very petrol sounding, really V6 sounding. That works really well inside the cabin. But externally, I've been out on the side of the road doing some external shots. It's devoid of any sound. You don't hear the car coming, you don't hear the car going. It is actually very, very subdued from outside. It does what I say I don't like cars to do. It makes the speed removes you from the sensors of how fast you can go in this car. Could you go way too fast? Absolutely. And if you do, and you start pushing it on some twisty stuff, that's when you notice the car, the weight at the front. You don't know what's going on. You're turning, you've got to give it time because the car's got to settle. There's a lot of weight out front. There's a lot of weight in the back. There's a lot of weight on the car. And you can absolutely feel that on the twisty stuff. It does get out of its comfort zone. The gearbox in auto does get a little bit confused. But if you give it the right road, in the right circumstances, the A road, in manual, you're cruising along, you knock it down a gear and you accelerate. In dynamic, the throaty V6, the huge acceleration and the speed that will effortlessly climb. And the best thing is the family won't even notice how fast you're going. And that's it. It's the Q car. It's the car that is just an A6 Avant. It just looks like a 2-litre TDI. It just hides it really, really well. Whether that's worth mid-teens or not on a 11, 12-year-old car, I'm not so sure. That's up to you. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, stay tuned. Another video next week. Thanks for watching, guys.